Hello, hello, darlings. I just blasted my ears out with the levels I apparently have set in my headphones. So 1 second. You know, one of these days I'm gonna be able to do this like perfect, and you'll never know. It'll be amazing. It'll seem so professional. Maybe. Anyway, welcome to Here Comes the News. I'm your host, Mika. My co-host from the Gender Swap podcast, Stevie, unfortunately couldn't make it out tonight. Something about a lube shortage. I didn't ask questions. Not my business. Not my problem. So, we may as well launch right in because I have a lot to talk about tonight. Our first headline. Surprising no one, it's about ICE. Because of course it is. It always is these days. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino praised agent after shooting Miramar Martinez in Chicago, evidence shows. A trove of evidence was released Tuesday on the controversial shooting of Miramar Martinez by an immigration agent at the height of Operation Midway Blitz. The names they come up with these, including body-worn camera footage showing the tense moments just before their vehicles collided, and an email later sent that day by Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino praising the agent's conduct. It's time to get aggressive and get the expletive out, one agent says on a body cam video as horns blare on Kedzie Avenue in Brighton Park, where Martinez had been following the agents through the neighborhoods on the morning of October 4th, according to the material released by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Seconds later, the driver, Border Patrol Agent Charles Exum, appears to jerk the steering wheel to the left in the direction of Martinez's vehicle alongside them. The video jolts, apparently capturing the collision between the agent's Chevrolet Tahoe and Martinez's car. "Be advised, we've been struck," one of the agents in the vehicle yells to a dispatcher. Yeah, they were struck. Exum then gets out of the vehicle and moves off camera, and 5 rapid succession gunshots are heard. "We have shots fired, we need backup," an agent said into a radio. Already, bystanders can be heard screaming expletives at the agents. The email to Exum from Bovino starts out, "Good afternoon," which was sent, by the way, at 3:11 p.m. on October 4th when Martinez was still hospitalized and had not yet been discharged. "I would like to extend an offer to you to extend your retirement beyond age 57 in light of your excellent service in Chicago. You have so much left to do." There are things that I could say right now that I'm thinking. And I'm thinking them, oh, so hard right now. But I don't want the Twitch channel to get banned. So I'll just move on. This is from Wired.com. ICE is expanding across the U.S. at breakneck speed. Here's where it's going next. Federal records obtained by Wired showed that over the past several months, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, have carried out a secret campaign to expand ICE's physical presence across the U.S. Documents show that more than 150 leases and office expansions have or would place new facilities in nearly every state, many of them in or just outside of the country's largest metropolitan areas. In many cases, these facilities, which are to be used by street-level agents and ICE attorneys, they have attorneys? I'm going to be real. They're obviously not very good at their job if they're not advising ICE to stop doing this shit. But whatever. Anyway, they're apparently located near elementary schools, medical offices, places of worship, and other sensitive locations. In El Paso, Texas, for example, the agency is moving into a large campus of buildings right off Interstate 10, near multiple local health providers and other businesses. In Irvine, California, ICE is moving into offices located next to a child care agency. In New York, ICE is moving into offices on Long Island near a passport center. In a wealthy community near Houston, ICE appears poised to move into office building blocks. ICE appears poised to move into an office building blocks away from a preschool. You may be wondering, how exactly is ICE able to do this? How can they afford to do this? I mean, granted, they've been given billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars more than in years past. But where's the extra money coming from? This is from Fortune.com. America has borrowed $43.5 billion per week for the first 4 months of the fiscal year, with debt interest on track to be over $1 trillion for 2026. I could make a joke about how, I thought the Republicans were the ones that cared about the deficit and wanted to cut spending so that blah, 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 and all that. But we've known. They've never cared about that. That's a lie. It's just bullshit they say so they can try to justify slashing social programs. So really, I mean, I got no jokes for it. I got nothing. It's just a case of holy shit. Like, these are the actions of somebody who's gonna dip on the bill, you know? And I'm genuinely surprised there's still countries or banks or people out there willing to lend us money. I'm sorry, not us. I'm not getting a share. I don't get a cut. And I'm pretty sure that all of you listeners and viewers out there aren't getting a cut either. So let me rephrase that. I'm genuinely surprised that anyone is willing to lend the U.S. government any more money, especially in light with what they do with it. Because it's not just the things they spend it on, but the people that they spend it on. This is a post by the Minnesota House DFL. Police in Bloomington, Minnesota just announced that one of the guys they arrested in an underage sex trafficking sting was a background checker for ICE agents. He had a high security clearance in the Trump administration, and he was caught trying to abuse children. This is someone who was supposed to be doing the background checks on ICE agents. And he got caught in an underage sex trafficking sting. So I don't necessarily trust that he was really filtering anyone out that was sending in applications. They certainly didn't manage to filter him out. Now did they? This is from unicornriot.ninja, which, real quick, I don't usually do this. Full disclosure, Unicorn Riot is not paying me to say anything about them or the quality of their journalism. But, real talk, they're pretty fucking good. Like, if you want to find out what's going on the ground with all the protests and all the shit that ICE is doing, check out Unicorn Riot. Federal agent in Coon Rapids apparently said, the more people that you lose in Minnesota, then you lose a voting right to stay blue. Kind of saying the quiet part out loud there, aren't we? A masked federal agent in a convenience store parking lot in the northern Twin Cities suburb of Coon Rapids told legal observers that Minnesota's status as a blue state is linked with the removal of residents on a video that was provided to Unicorn Riot. He also conceded that the Trump-era anti-immigration program is more violent than the Obama-era equivalent. This is the first time we are aware that any federal agent in the Twin Cities campaign has connected the federal immigration campaign with Minnesota's political alignment as blue, Democratic Party-leaning state. Amid a running car engine and three-way conversation crosstalk, the federal agent talks about blue state media and voting rights. They actually have a clip of the video here on the article. I encourage you to go check it out. I don't unfortunately have time to play it right now. But, yeah. It's kind of one of those things where it's genuinely no surprise that they are basically implicitly doing this to affect the outcome of future elections, to fuck people over. Because while they don't necessarily get the charges to stick on everyone, if they get trumped up charges to stick on enough people, if they get made up felony charges stick on enough people, if they get enough people thrown into prison, they're disenfranchising the public. And the Republican Party always does better when fewer people are able to vote. Speaking of things that ICE has been doing, there's a lack of news coverage about what's still going on in Minnesota. And there's kind of this assumption, at least on the national media scale, that Trump's done over there. They're not bothering them anymore. It's fine. There's nothing to worry about. This car that I'm showing on the screen here is the aftermath of an ICE raid. Sights like this vehicle, which has obviously been T-boned and the car is totaled, are apparently fairly common, and the vehicles are just left abandoned. The drivers kidnapped, disappeared. Here's another vehicle that was also smashed by ICE. This doesn't exactly appear to be a peaceful, legitimate campaign. If one were to just see the evidence of what's happening and the stories, they might assume that there's a roaming gang of fascists running amok, doing as they please. You may be wondering what you can do to help resist against these fascists. And everybody has their own ways of being able to help. In the last podcast episode, we mentioned a man by the name of Mr. Benton, who is a professional plane enthusiast who keeps track of how many people ICE puts on planes to deport. Because they're certainly not reporting the numbers, and we need to know. Well, in Los Angeles, this is from LAtaco.com. A 21-year-old has started playing the Bagpipes during anti-ICE protests. And he does it while marching through tear gas. Jack Duffy attaches a respirator to his bagpipes to play through the tear gas. I always play it whenever the police retreat because it's like, you fucking ran while we stayed, he says. We actually have a picture of him here. I'm gonna bring it up real quick. And you know what? Not necessarily my type, but I can certainly say that's a handsome fella with bagpipes. Originally from Napa, California, Jack Duffy attended his first protest at the age of 14 when he joined his mom at a march during President Trump's first term. Now a computer science major at Chapman University, the 21-year-old has become known for playing the bagpipes at recent protests in Portland and Los Angeles. The first one I went to and played at was No King's Day in Portland, Duffy says. I was living in my car and I went up there to see what it was like. And that was my first real protest. We were getting tear gassed and everything. I was playing and someone gave me goggles and a mask. Duffy says he started playing the bagpipes over 3 years ago when he randomly got into Irish music in high school. Again, much like Mr. Benton that we talked about in the last podcast, this is someone who is, for lack of a better way of putting it, weaponizing their special interest. Which is pretty fucking awesome. I think more people should check to see if their special interest has other applications. I learned bagpipes online, which is not what you're supposed to do, Duffy says. He tends not to share that with any of the other members on the bagpiping Discord server he belongs to, which, learn how you gotta. No shame. None whatsoever. The one thing that everybody knows is the one that I play at the protest. Duffy says it's the Highland bagpipe. It's 3 drones, 9 notes. It's very narrow what you can actually play on it. If someone asked me to play a metal song, you just can't. Then, the other set that I play is the Irish Uilleann pipes, which you play sitting down. It's a lot quieter, but you have a lot more range. So, yeah. Shout out to Duffy in LA. I don't know if you're a listener, but if you are, kudos. And if anybody who knows Duffy is listening or watching to the podcast, tell him I said hello. Moving on to our next headline. This is from theguardian.com. And before I get into it, I need to quickly preface that there was a hearing today with everyone's favorite Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Yay! And, yeah. Members of Congress decided to question her. Members of the House Judiciary Committee, specifically, about, how she's handled the Epstein Files. Her response... The article doesn't say this, but I've seen clips. So in this particular newsreader's opinion, her response was to have a total and complete crash out, throwing tantrums. If you want an example, the headline from The Guardian, "You're a washed up loser lawyer. Pam Bondi taunts Democrats over Epstein." Because that's the sort of thing you really expect your Attorney General to say in a fucking congressional hearing. Democrats pounded Bondi with questions about the way the department has complied with a law last year mandating the complete release of the files with specific and limited room for redactions. Since releasing the documents after the statutory headline, for those of you who may not be as familiar with lawyer speak, after being real fucking late getting them out there, the Justice Department has come under intense scrutiny, both for releasing the names of survivors while redacting, without explanation, the names of many people who may have committed crimes. Bondi avoided addressing the questions about the way the department has handled the files. After being pressed by the Representative Pramila Jayapal of Washington, Bondi also declined to turn around from her seat at the hearing table and apologize to Epstein victims who were in the hearing room. "I'm not going to get in the gutter with this woman. She's doing theatrics," Bondi said. A quick little editorial. I don't think that Attorney General Pam Bondi, previously the Attorney General of my home state, Florida, which she spent so much time fucking over every possible way she could, including attacking trans people like yours truly in every possible way she could. I don't think she needs to get in the gutter. She's already in the fucking sewer with Stephen King's It. Bondi also sparred heavily with Jamie Raskin of Maryland, the top Democrat on the committee, as he sought to prevent the Attorney General from using long, meandering answers to eat up the 5 minutes members are allotted to ask questions. When Raskin said he had warned Bondi about eating up time at the outset of the hearing, Bondi replied by yelling, "You don't tell me anything. You're a washed-up loser lawyer. You're not even a lawyer," she said to Raskin. It's worth noting that Jamie Raskin, the top Democrat on the committee, is not only a lawyer, but went to Harvard and has taught constitutional law, I believe, for about 25 years. Just wanted to make a quick note of that. I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history, Bondi said. The Attorney General and the Justice Department have typically kept themselves at arm's length from the President and the White House to avoid the perception of political interference in law enforcement. Aren't we glad they've held to established norms this go round? If they could maintain their posture, this isn't a circus, this is a hearing. I find it interesting she keeps going after Donald Trump. She doesn't say how much money she took from Reid Hoffman, Bondi said. Hoffman is the co-founder of LinkedIn and has said he knew Epstein because of fundraising for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and only met with him professionally 6 times. Look, I realize that, Epstein was kind of everywhere. But would it have been so hard for people in any kind of position of power or authority or whatnot to say, no, I'm not going to go have a meeting with the convicted pedophile guy? I feel like it's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's whatever. Anyway, moving on. Bondi also had a heated exchange with California Representative Ted Lieu, who asked whether Trump had ever attended a party with underage girls. "This is so ridiculous," Bondi said, "and they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that," she said of the first U.S. president to be convicted of 67 different felonies. Low-hanging fruit. I don't even have to try that hard to write the jokes. It's times like these that I really pity the writers of The Onion. They really do have all the respect I can offer. These are hard times for them. Lieu responded that he believed that answer amounted to a crime, lying under oath. Oh no, perjury. Since Trump's name appears in many instances of the file. In fact, according to Jamie Raskin, Trump's name appears in the unredacted files over 1 million times. In one message, for example, Epstein said Trump knew about the girls, but never got a massage. Michael Ryder, the ex-police chief in Palm Beach, also told the FBI that Trump told him everyone has known he's been doing this. As it became clear, Epstein was under investigation. I feel I'm no law enforcement officer, which is obvious. I could never kill a dog. But I feel, despite me not having any kind of expertise in the realm, that if somebody says everybody knows somebody else has been doing shit, you also bring them in for questioning, and you find what else they know that apparently everyone knows. But again, what the fuck do I know? I'm just, a talking head on your computer. Trump's name also appears in uncorroborated tips. Trump has never been charged with a crime and denies any wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. The Guardian, that's some weird wording because he has been charged with crime. Again, those previously mentioned felony convictions I talked about earlier. Should have said, has never been charged with a crime in connection to Epstein. Don't you ever accuse me of committing a crime, Bondi yelled back at Lieu. So, yeah. It's great to know that the government is acting very professional. Just the height of professionalism. And it's great to know that so many of them are apparently running cover for a gang of powerful pedophiles. Speaking of running cover for accused kitty diddlers, this is from thehill.com. Gallup has announced they will no longer measure presidential approval after 88 years. The company has said that starting this year, it would stop publishing approval and favorability ratings of individual political figures, saying in a statement it, quote, reflects an evolution in how Gallup focuses its public research and thought leadership. Our commitment is to long-term, methodologically sound research on issues and conditions that shape people's lives, a spokesperson for the agency said. That work will continue through the Gallup Poll Social Series, the Gallup Quarterly Business Review, the World Poll, and our portfolio of U.S. and global research. The Gallup Presidential Approval Rating has for decades been among the top barometers cited by media outlets measuring public opinion of the president's performance. It's rather interesting that quite possibly the least popular president of all time, and that's saying something, given the 250-year run of the United States has had some doozies. It's telling that during this guy's time in office, Gallup is like, oh no, we're done. That's enough. Anyway, we're going to move on. In other news, this is from Reuters.com. As AI enters the operating room, reports arise of botched surgeries and misidentified body parts. That is some fucking body horror there. In 2021, a unit of healthcare giant Johnson & Johnson announced a leap forward. It had added artificial intelligence to a medical device used to treat chronic sinusitis and inflammation of the sinuses. A clearance said the software for its TrueD navigation system would now use a machine learning algorithm to assist ear, nose, and throat specialists in surgeries. The device has been on the market for 3 years. Until then, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration had received unconfirmed reports of 7 instances in which the device malfunctioned, and another report of a patient injury. Since AI was added to the device, holy shit. I'm sorry, I read ahead and let me start that sentence again. Since AI was added to the device, the FDA has received unconfirmed reports of at least 100 malfunctions. It made the product worse by I think 13 to 14 times worse. At least 10 people were injured between 2021 and November of 2025. Most allegedly involved errors in which the TrueD navigation system misinformed surgeons about the locations of their instruments while they were using them inside of patients' heads during operation. Words fail me. AI provably makes everything worse. And there's just a certain type of C-suite MBA that loves putting AI in everything because innovation, huzzah. Who gives a fuck about long-term consequences We're going to make the shareholders money now. Don't want to be left behind. We've got to stack our own pile of corpses. Cerebrospinal fluid reportedly leaked from one patient's nose. That's the stuff around your brain. In another reported case, a surgeon mistakenly punctured the base of a patient's skull. In 2 other cases, patients each allegedly suffered strokes after a major artery was accidentally injured. The mind boggles. Personally, if I find out that any doctor, physician, surgeon, or anything is using AI for any part of the process when dealing with me, I'm just going to get the fuck out. I'll take my chances with whatever's going on inside me than risk an AI device hallucinating where all the surgical implements are. Speaking of more shitty tech companies with shitty technology, this is from Wired.com. I'm not going to go too deep into this. We're just going to graze the surface. But Palantir CEO Alex Karp has recorded a video about ICE for his employees because Palantir employees are pretty fucking unhappy that they're working with ICE. Which, you work for the giant surveillance company that works with the US government when it does fascist shit. But ICE is where you guys draw the line? Okay. But anyway, Alex Karp in the video did not explain how ICE is utilizing the company's products. Not in the video. He did say he would explain if the workers first signed non-disclosure agreements. Which I feel, personally, would be explanation enough. Moving on. This is from the OrlandoSentinel.com. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis could brand groups as terrorists, alarming free speech advocates. State lawmakers this session are considering changing state laws that could affect what Floridians can say, write, and read. Not to put too fine a point on it, I'm a Floridian. And this could affect me and this show and the main podcast. Legislators are weighing giving the governor broad powers to brand groups as terrorist organizations and expel college students who support them. They're proposing forbidding the state from referring to the West Bank and imposing more restrictions on school books. Several of the ideas have bipartisan support. Because of course they do. Because of keeping up with the last, 30 some odd years of politics. It's hard to argue that the Democrats aren't the left wing of fascism, given how often they enable it. How often they're just shy of enough votes to block it in Congress. or how frequently the Democrats will put laws into place ripe for abuse by fascists later on. These ideas are getting pushback from free speech advocates and trade union representatives, as they should. They've also apparently divided Republicans, who in recent years have decried what they said was censorship in the form of political correctness and cancel culture, which, as anyone with a brain knows, has always been a smokescreen and bullshit. But moving on to the article. Republican senators bowed to some of those criticisms on Tuesday. SB 290, backed by Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson, included a provision that would have allowed more food producers to sue people for disparagement of their product and to recoup the attorney's costs. The idea was sharply criticized online as an affront to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again movement and as a giveaway to agricultural producers, including pesticide manufacturers. After dozens of opponents from the non-profit Captains for Clean Water showed up, senators voted to strip out the provision on Tuesday. Free speech in our Constitution matters, and you all did the right thing today, the organization's founder, Daniel Andrews, told senators. The House version of the bill, HB 433, still includes the language. Across the Capitol on Tuesday, a House committee advanced HB 1471, which would allow the head of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, chosen by the governor, to designate groups as foreign or domestic terrorist organizations. Groups could be labeled as such if they engage in criminal violence or intimidate or coerce a civilian population or influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion. The governor and the cabinet would have to approve any designation. Companion bills would also make records about these decisions a secret under state law. So just kind of, giving them free rein to call anyone they want a terrorist. Critics have said that the bill seems targeted at college students who have protested Israel's war in Gaza. The bill would prohibit colleges and universities from giving funding or support to terrorist organizations, and a student who promotes one would be immediately expelled. House sponsor Representative Hillary Castle, a Dania Beach Republican, said Tuesday that lawmakers, quote, have an obligation to protect our residents as they work hand in hand with ICE and Border Patrol to terrorize people across Florida. Much of what's been happening in Minnesota has a mirror happening in Central and South Florida right now, and in Jacksonville. Except here, local law enforcement is working directly with ICE and doing their dirty work. So it's quieter. But it is another strong indicator that local fascists will always side with national fascists. Representative Hillary Castle went on, "It does not criminalize speech. It does not punish people for association or ideology. Beliefs are protected in America. Terrorist participation is not." Again, the designation of terrorist being something that has been nebulously thrown about in the past, and also going to make it where we won't know why they've decided organizations or people are terrorist. But I'm sure they won't abuse this. I'm sure they won't decide that not just people protesting for Palestine, but, I don't know, LGBTQ plus organizations are terrorists. Or trans people who have an opinion and say it or post it online are terrorists. Because there's already been plenty of instances of politicians in the state legislature calling people like me demons, terrorists, degenerates. Take your pick. So, yeah. Here's hoping that this particular legislation doesn't get through. But if it does, I may need to find a couch to crash on in another state. Speaking of government institutions using fucked up terminology for fucked up reasons, this is from importantcontext.news. The Department of Health and Human Services issued a press release praising the American Society of Plastic Surgeons for being the first major medical organization in the country to come out against gender-affirming surgeries for anyone under the age of 19. Meaning if you're 18, you're old enough to vote. You're old enough to join the military and go fight and die for the country. But you're not old enough to get a BBL or breast augmentation or facial feminization surgery or bottom surgery. But if you're cis and you want those things, that's fine. There's no issue there. HHS leaders commend the American Society of Plastic Surgeons for disavowing pediatric sex-rejecting procedures, the release said, which is terminology that was absent from the ASPS position statement. Apparently, the Department of Health and Human Services has begun referring to gender-affirming care for transgender or non-binary people as sex-rejecting procedures since November. The term has appeared in at least 3 separate press releases from the department, including the announcement of its final 410-page peer-reviewed report on gender dysphoria. Which, if you remember, we previously talked about that and pulled it apart. It was bullshit. But anyway, ASPS relied on the report, you know, the bullshit one, to inform its position on gender-affirming surgeries, though multiple reviewers of the report criticized it as unscientific and political. And need I remind you, the report was such bullshit, nobody was willing to put their name on it. So, you're probably wondering, where the fuck did that term come from? Sex rejecting procedures. Because that's kind of a new one. Or is it? HHS's adoption of the terminology comes from the Christian right. Founded in 1976, EPPC, who is a conservative Catholic group called the Ethics and Public Policy Center, founded in 1976, they have the stated goal of promoting Judeo-Christian values in law, culture, and politics. The group is formed as an alliance between ultra-conservative Christians and Jews to advance religiously motivated social policies, which pretty much all the fucking time target LGBTQIA people. It previously published the non-peer-reviewed religious journal The New Atlantis, and was identified by the Southern Poverty Law Center as part of an anti-LGBTQIA pseudoscience network. Yeah. So, you know, it's great. The Department of Health and Human Services is picking up some phrases and terminology from an organization that was on the advisory board of Project 2025. And in May 2025, President Trump appointed EPPC President Ryan Anderson, who was previously a fellow at the Heritage Foundation, to his Religious Liberty Commission. So, you know, as usual, scads of bullshit, and it kind of sucks. Moving on, I would like to end on a bit of a lighter note. And namely, I want to discuss something that Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal announced today. But I'm just going to play the video. So, let me get this moved over. And here we go.
We're on the defensive, discussing how to protect trans people from horrific Republican attacks and how to ensure that trans people can live authentically in our communities. Today, though, we are not on the defensive. We are looking forward with the Trans Bill of Rights. We are laying out a comprehensive vision to provide protections for transgender and non-binary people. A vision that ensures that every single person has a chance to thrive. A vision that says, you are us, you belong, and you are worthy as of the same rights as everyone. This bill bill supports amending the Civil Rights Act to ensure that trans people have the same rights and protections as all other Americans. It creates a level playing field where trans people no longer have to fight tooth and nail to get the same treatment as their cisgender friends. Creating inherent protections for trans people when it comes to schooling, housing, accessing credit and healthcare, expanding community services and mental health services for trans people is what it takes to ensure that trans people have full equality, where we can celebrate trans rights rather than fight for every single right at every turn.
So, yeah. That is good news. It's something to look forward to. And I genuinely hope it gets traction. Well, that's our episode. I've pretty much run out of steam. So, yeah. As always, the information that I've presented to you is available online. You can verify it independently yourself. You can verify it between multiple sources. And as always, with all the information that I give you, do with that information what you will. Bye.